Discover the incredible stories of justice prevailing over time in our captivating journey through recently solved cold cases in 2023. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got an incredible and heart-touching topic to discuss: cold cases that were finally solved in 2023. These are the stories that remind us that justice may be delayed but is never denied. In this video, we're going to delve deep into these fascinating stories of perseverance, breakthroughs, and ultimately, closure. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. The Debbie Lynn Randall Case. Our first story takes us to Marietta, Georgia, where a mystery spanning over 5 decades has finally found its resolution. In January 1972, the lives of the Randall family were forever changed when 9-year-old Debbie Lynn Randall disappeared after being left behind at a local laundromat by her stepfather. 2 agonizing weeks later, the worst was confirmed when young Debbie's lifeless body was discovered, abandoned far from her home. The nightmare deepened as investigators faced the daunting task of solving this horrendous crime with only a vague description of a potential suspect's truck. The Marietta Police Department, however, had shown exemplary dedication by meticulously collecting and preserving evidence from the crime scene. This evidence, though initially unable to lead them to the killer, would ultimately prove to be the key to unlocking the case over half a century later. Cold case investigator Morris Nix articulated the essence of this remarkable breakthrough when he said, "Technology does not get old, it doesn't retire, it doesn't get sick, and it doesn't quit." In 2023, technology led authorities to a stunning revelation. The murderer was identified as a then 24-year-old William Rose, who tragically took his own life in 1974. For Debbie's surviving family members, this revelation was a long-awaited moment of closure. It brought an eloquent postscript to a story that had haunted them for decades, a story where justice seemed elusive. Number 2. The Laura Kempton Case. In 1981, somewhere in New Hampshire, 23-year-old Laura Kempton was found murdered in her apartment. Laura, a promising hairdressing student, had her whole life ahead of her, but her dreams were tragically cut short. The case seemed like an unsolvable mystery. The only evidence left behind was DNA, indicating the presence of a male perpetrator, but it didn't lead to any immediate breakthrough. For over 4 decades, Laura's family, friends, and the community had to live with unanswered questions and lingering pain. However, in July 2023, the New Hampshire Attorney General's office released a report that would bring some much-needed closure to the Kempton family. The diligent and tireless efforts of law enforcement, coupled with modern genetic genealogy technology, finally revealed the identity of the killer: Ronnie James Lee. Laura Kempton's surviving family issued a statement expressing their gratitude for the investigators' unwavering commitment. They said, "Their diligence and determination, along with extraordinary personal commitment over the past decades, have led to this moment for Laura." Number 3. The Sharon Pryor Case. Our next compelling story takes us back to 1975, when a tight-knit community in Quebec was struck by a horrifying crime that remained unsolved for nearly 5 decades. 16-year-old Sharon Pryor, a bright and hopeful young woman, was abducted and brutally murdered. Her body found in a remote wooded area in the town of Longueuil. The investigation was marked by the challenges faced by law enforcement. All they had to go on was a vague suspect description. Over the years, they tirelessly pursued leads, investigating over 100 individuals in their quest for justice. However, in 2022, investigators finally uncovered a name that would provide the breakthrough they had longed for. Franklin Romine, a man with a history of criminal activity who frequently moved between Canada and West Virginia, emerged as a suspect. It was a significant lead, but the key to cracking the case lay in a remarkable discovery. With the help of DNA collected in 1975 and a link to a family in West Virginia, investigators had the cause to exhume the body of Franklin Romine, who had passed away in 1982. The DNA evidence collected from his remains confirmed, with 100% certainty, that he was the individual responsible for Sharon Pryor's murder. For Sharon's mother, Yvonne, who had never given up hope and relentlessly sought justice for her daughter, this revelation finally offered some closure. Number 4. The Rita Curran Case. In Burlington, Vermont, 24-year-old Rita Curran's tragic story unfolded. In 1971, Rita, on her own for the first time and living with acquaintances in an apartment, became the victim of a horrifying crime. She was sexually assaulted and strangled by an unknown assailant, and her life was cut short in a senseless act of violence. The investigation into Rita's murder began with the collection of DNA evidence from the crime scene. Among the evidence was a cigarette butt found next to Rita's body. Despite their efforts, this vital clue failed to return any matches from the National DNA Database, even after it became operational in 1998. As a result, Rita's murder became Burlington's oldest unsolved case. However, in 2022, a dedicated team of detectives assigned to Rita Curran's case brought fresh eyes to the evidence, harnessing the power of modern technology. They extracted new DNA samples and turned to the broader scope of public ancestry records to unearth new leads. This relentless pursuit of justice led them to the doorstep of a neighbor, William DeRoos, who had lived 2 floors above Rita in the same apartment building. Startlingly, DeRoos' then-wife, Michelle, confirmed a fight they had on the night of the murder, as well as her husband's prior criminal history. Adding to the chilling puzzle, DeRoos' second wife, Sarah Hepting, shared a harrowing revelation. Her husband had once strangled her, echoing the manner of Rita's death. The case was finally solved, but justice was posthumous. DeRoos had passed away in 1986. Number 5. The Carol Sue Klaber Case. Lastly, we come to Boone County, Kentucky, where the case of Carol Sue Klaber, a victim of a heinous crime that had remained unresolved since 1976. Carol, a young woman with dreams and aspirations, was sexually assaulted and murdered, a horrifying event that left her family, friends, and community in shock. The case presented a significant challenge to investigators across multiple generations. Detective Jerry Keith, who dedicated his life to the case, had meticulously compiled information, keeping the file with him for years. His unwavering dedication carried the torch, even if the suspects he focused on did not pan out. Ultimately, Detective Coy Cox credited Keith, saying, "A lot of times, you have to prove who didn't do it to get to who did." That someone was Thomas Dunaway, only 19 at the time of the crime. Investigators closed in on him, securing a match with familial DNA. In the years following Klaber's murder, Dunaway enlisted in the Army, but he was soon arrested for possessing an illegal firearm. Years later, he committed another murder, leading to a 7-year prison sentence. Dunaway passed away in 1990, making the revelation bittersweet for Klaber's brother, Thomas. These stories of cold cases solved in 2023 are a testament to the unwavering determination of investigators, the power of modern technology, and the enduring hope of families. While the pain may linger, these cases remind us that justice can prevail, even after decades of waiting. If you found these stories as fascinating and inspiring as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.